Hey guys, it's Tape the Grape, and today's video is going to be a 2-for-1. It's going to be about the Blazer and the Grand Marquis. It's not any existing problems that you've already heard about or I've talked about. It's new ones, well, new to you. It's been going on for about a week, but I believe they're both resolved, and I'll explain them now. No, this one's not mine, the Toyota, that's my sister's, but anyway, pretty decent car. The Blazer, first of all, if you've kept up with my previous videos, you know it, had a non-starting issue, ended up being the fuel pump. We've had it coming up on 2.5, maybe 3 weeks. I don't know, time's flying by. And sure enough, fuel pumps, you getting a replacement fuel pump, it definitely, that was the issue. So it has not had any trouble starting whatsoever at all. And it's even been even colder than it was before, so it definitely wouldn't have been a cold issue or anything like I might have thought it was in one of those videos. But anyway, so the issue we had with this is actually, it started, and I noticed it the same day we ended up getting the fuel pump done. Now, I drove it home, and I noticed the temperature gauge was erratic. It was in normal, then it was like climbing super high to real overheating. I was like, oh shit, but then it went right back to normal. Even went down to low. In that video where I'm saying it's nighttime and I'm parked and it's running, I can't remember what video. If I can remember, I'll put it in the description. That's video. You'll notice when it's running after I already drove it a long distance home, the needle's all the way down at like cold, even though it was driven like 7 miles. So anyway, I was thinking, well, faulty temperature gauge or what? I checked the radiator. The radiator was almost all the way full. I'm sorry, empty. Almost all the way empty, not full. So I ended up putting, now I didn't count exactly. I should have. Obviously, that was important. Maybe, a gallon. I say a gallon. It was one of them little gallon jugs. So, yeah, so it was probably a gallon. A gallon and a half, if not 2 gallons. I don't know how much they hold. Probably that amount. It was pretty empty. I was like, oh, shit, is it leaking? Well, I filled it up that same day. No, the day after when it was daytime and I saw it. And I opened it up and looked at it. But anyway, so I was like, oh, shit, it's leaking. Well, I guess we'll see how long it takes until it fully leaks. Now, fast forward to yesterday, Alex, actually, my fiance, she drives the truck. She last minute wanted to go to a concert in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which is about an hour and a half's drive away. Equal distance from here to Milwaukee as it is from here to Chicago. I live in northern Illinois, the middle. Well, anyway, 815 represent. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so yeah, she drove it to Milwaukee. I was nervous. She said last second, I was already at work. I told her, no, I don't think it's a good idea. But anyway, she did anyway. She drove it to Milwaukee with a friend and back. And I checked this morning, still full. So is it leaking? I don't know. Is it a really, really slow leak? I don't know. But anyway, drove it all the way to Milwaukee and it's still full on antifreeze. So maybe that's fixed. But who knows? Now on to the Grand Marquis. And before I get onto that, I should mention on this, not only was it her driving to Milwaukee and back, but also a week of daily driving, plus the trip to Milwaukee and back, and it still is full. So, like, again, it must be a really slow leak, or I don't know. But anyway, on to the Grand Marquis. Now, the issue I was having with this apparently is a slightly common issue. The interior lights would come on randomly while it was parked at night. I noticed it maybe 4 days ago. On the second day, I actually did something about it. But anyway, so it was parked. I parked it in front. Normally, I park it in back. I had it out front. So anyway, all throughout the night, every like 10 or 20 seconds, the interior light would come on for 5 seconds and then slowly fade out. 5 seconds, slowly fade out. Whole night, I was like, oh shit, it's going to drain the battery. Turns out, I did a bunch of research online. Turns out these can go bad. These things, and water can get in the buttons and act like they're being pressed constantly. And when you press these light up, and then the interior lights come on. And just so happens that day, it was raining / snowing. So basically what I ended up having to do, super easy, well, it was a pain to get the, no, it's locked. It was a pain to get the door panel off because some parts were glued, as you might be able to see on the handle. There's kind of like glue there. Not too bad though. I was able to unplug this. Now, originally I thought I was going to have to unplug it straight from behind this, which is a really tight squeeze in between the 2 sheets of metal and the glass. But thankfully it was right there in the easy open, big green plug. I was able to unplug that, and that was my issue. So I fixed that, so it's no longer having that issue. So currently, I'm having no issues with any of the cars. Thank goodness. And again, I'm not going to show the, whoops. I'm not going to show the license plate. You didn't see that. And that's my sister's Toyota. Pretty decent car. But oh yeah.